G'day guys, this is Sam here from Trade to Prosper, an online training site for people who want to learn how to read the charts and make trades. I'm going to follow up with TrueBit on this occasion again. Last time I looked on the internet and so on, there is not much out there. And the last video I did, it got some interest, so I thought do people some favor, especially when there's not much history to go with. Some people are looking to some guidance, and I'm here to do that. I'm also supporting the TrueBit community by doing this. I'm going to be a long-term hodler on TrueBit, and I'm going to try to maximize my capacity in regards to how much we can accumulate in the bear market. So the next bull run, it could be a life-changing investment. So that's part of my strategy. TrueBit is one of those coins. So hopefully you come on board and benefit from this as well. So if you will look at my last video, I had this box here as well, and I explained with the RSI how we can get there potentially, and we have that. So I did buy there. I saw a bit of a greenish bullish candle on the 4 hour, and I bought in, and so far so good. Corresponds to the RSI. Sometimes you've got to be flexible with the way you look at the RSI, and we're having a breakout at the moment. Now, how much can that go? Well, first of all, let's just go back one step. We had a measured move from there to there. I grabbed that, and this was the worst case scenario, and it's give or take, it's very close to it. So that's one method of doing it, getting it right, and I'm pleased to say that is it. The other aspect is that we had a pretty much very similar to Bitcoin, one higher than the other. So this is pretty much a topping off formation, and that's why we went down. I wish I was awake when that was happening, so I can. That was a big capitulation. I missed that selling pretext, and you can see from that was an incline, and you can see from the MACD, pretty bearish divergence. So I was anticipating. I did take some profit, bought some back in, but the execution wasn't the best. So we have some tools, at least for the local time period, what's going on. But when we look at the longer, bigger period, it's a bit of a struggle. Just to let you know that I did do a video, and I didn't get to post it. And I was just tired, so I didn't get to post it. And there's some of this stuff up there. And anyway, no excuses. I'm going to try to help you guys out here. All right. So if you look at the bigger picture, so this is a 4 hour chart. and we're just trading the 4-hour trade, trying to maximize it. How far can that go? Who knows? It's still a bear market. I do believe Bitcoin's going to do a bit of a rally here, a relief rally, but I don't think it's a reversal. So we can put the Fibonacci there, and you can see where previous support was, and you can see the Fibonacci levels here as well. The 0.5 is usually the initial resistance, and the 0.618. So I don't know why that's happening. I don't have the magnet on. It's not the best. All right, there we go. So that's my initial resistance, and we bring this across. You can see that it's got a lot of confluence with some areas. So you can bring this down a bit. We'll bring it down slightly a bit, and we can see that that's going to be resistance. Right, let's just expand this for a sec. Actually, maybe we can just make it darker so people can see it a bit more. How's that for you? It's probably a bit more clearer. I actually don't want that. I'll just put that to the side for the time being. Right, so that we can get rid of that for a sec. We'll leave that there. And my accumulation box is that grey area. So the resistance is there. Maybe bring it down a bit. And there you go. So roughly 18, 19 cents, close to around there, is when we initially get the resistance, and we're almost there. Okay. I think it's going to go higher. You might have a bit of a rejection here. We might get so what we're doing is we've got capitulation. Let's just go back, spread it out a bit, and let's have a look. Okay. So we're looking at. So we had a bit of a drop. Yeah, it's not the best. It could, if it came in harder like this, even better. But this is a slow progress, so this is going to go sideways. My anticipation is that we put a few lines in. So this is a macro line. We also have a line like this too, don't we? Give or take a bit. Unfortunately, I can't play with the settings with log or non-log. Unfortunately, this is very basic stuff with text tools. We don't have any other means. So if we were to take this and I suppose use these two candles, put the body of these two candles, we need to close above it. Yeah, so let's just change that to another color. So what we need to do is see this close above it, and potentially we're going to be really anal about it. We need to close above this level, which is 18.2 cents. So we want to see that as support. Number one, we need to close above it, and we've got this potential trend line. So what we want to see, if you want to go back into it, we want to see it go above. As we said, this is a resistance zone. We've got resistance there and support there. So we want to see it come back, curl, and show us some bullish candle, and then we'll probably get this major rejection. And then I think we could potentially come back down. Yep. If we get an up thrust, then we can beautifully go back that way, and then we look for the retest. But we need to see this pullback. At the moment, we need to see it break above, pull back, make a U-turn, find this area of support. It might come back down to this level as well, and then continue up. So there's a few scenarios. Do not chase it, because we're in a resistance zone. We've got a lot of resistance levels here, and we've got trend lines and so on. So this is I think the best avenue. Let's see how it goes. It needs to break this level. So at the moment, it could also go back down. And it's likely that a lot of alts will do the same, roughly. Come to a resistance area. We have the Bitcoin dominance really pulled back, and now the alts probably have done their bit. But anyway, we'll see what happens there. We need to see this break above for the short term. Long term wise, depending on what takes place here, we can't go bullish until we break this trend line. It's by my opinion. Let's see if there's anything else. So that looks like a descending wedge. So we could plot potentially. Let's see how we go here. If this is a bullish setup, we have our A, we have our B. This could be our C, that could be our D, and E's anywhere. That's the issue. E could be a double bottom. All right. Let's see what we've got. So that looks all right. So we've got that. I don't want to delete it. Unfortunately, I can't save it. That's the problem. If I could delete it, we can see from the chart it's a nice support area, and we can potentially come back to do a double bottom and then up as well. Really nice chart, actually. Let's just bummer. Let's see where we are. Do you want to do anything else? I don't want to do all the work that I've done before. All right, so you can see how that formation. Let's do this. Let's be brave, Sam. Come on, let's do it. Let's look at the bigger picture first before we get there. If I do the monthly, and I was doing this the other day, so we haven't got much to go with history. And let's just get rid of this for the time being. I don't want to see it on the monthly. So from a monthly perspective, we've got this trend line. Yep. We had this capitulation all the way, and so we had a good month. And it's basically showing a monthly level. So this is our monthly level. And I've done that. So I should change the color so you can see it stand out. Yep. And I'll just pick that orange as well. That's our monthly level. We're finding support on the monthly level all the way through. So right from here, the monthly level, body of the candle. So we dipped a bit below it, but as long as we don't close below it, it's okay. If we close below it, then we are likely to visit this level here, which is 6 cents. So that's number one. If we break this level, the monthly resistance level, roughly, which is 30 cents, then we are bullish. And so in here, we can go sideways. Who knows how long, but we need to see this actually break the midsection, which is about 23 cents, to start becoming confident. And that's pretty much it from a monthly level. If you were to do that on a monthly, you can see it's undecided at the moment. We gained and we lost, and we could probably gain again based on Bitcoin's current level. Okay, so let's just do this for a sec. We can probably change these settings for a sec. I don't know why it keeps doing this, but okay, so if I assume the top is 0, and what do I do here? Okay, so I do a swing from the top to bottom, swing low to swing high, and we've got this reversal direction, looking at Fibonacci from a reversal. Worst case scenario is, and that doesn't work because that's below 0, so that's not going to help us. That's why it's going to be difficult. But this monthly level is pretty much the one I'm looking at. And what we've observed from the monthly perspective in the past, this was demand, and now we've broken that area, and the next level of demand is here. So that could be from basically 0 all the way up to 18 cents. What I have here, looking at it from that perspective, we want to look at the Fibonacci from top to bottom. Okay, so we'll go into the weekly and see what, oh, that's, okay, and I did work here. Okay. So what we have is a bit of a potential bullish candle on, it's still bearish, but we can see that this area could be basically support. So buying this level here on the weekly level might be a good decision if you're going to average in, which is 14 cents. So the weekly bottom is support. We've got that candle coming down to the weekly, got a bit of support. And if we break that weekly level, 14, then we're going to the next level down, which is 9 cents. So it can, that will be my next. So if you're going to average in, maybe do it in phases. One is 14 cents, and then if it drops, look at the 9 cents range, and then potentially, and if it keeps dropping, average into the 6 cents or 7 cents range, because what I have here is also this trend line, and what it seems to me is that we can potentially come in like this. So we can potentially just do say how we got this bottoming formation, and then we have a bullish divergence kick in. We can potentially do that as well. So what we can do is, well, get rid of that. What we can do is potentially, if we were to lose, we'll get another bullish move up and break this line, and go. You can trade that as well. So this level, you might say it's a big range from 6 cents to 14 cents. Could be our range, accumulation area. In the past, this was our accumulation, and then we had a bit of a lower accumulation and dropped. The fact that Trubit came in May, it came in when pretty much we're in the bull market, and I think this is roughly where Bitcoin hit its initial all-time high of 64K, and we had that massive sell-off. So Trubit came at a bad time, and what it did demonstrate was there's a lot of buying in a bullish market, but that was it there. So this range, if we get above this range, you should be bullish, which is 29 cents. So historically, when we saw demand here, and we saw demand here. Now we're roughly on the bottom half of the demand area. So from just that logic, anything below there probably is worth buying, and just scale in. We don't know where the bottom's going to be. Too hard to figure it out. So if I was to actually, if I can do double this, give me a sec. I think I can do two charts, and I'll delete one, and hopefully the system doesn't remember. There we go. Hopefully though, it might sync. Bugger. That's the problem. It might sink in. Let me see. Test this. If I delete that, it would be nice for TradingView to put this on TradingView's platform as an option, but at the moment it's not. Now let me see if this sinks. Okay, it hasn't sunk. Okay, good. So if we delete this, you can see the MACD, and we can see this level, and we're pretty much below that level. We need to break above it and close above it on the weekly to become bullish. Then we have this bottom level that showed us support. That's why we got it there. So that's equating to that. And then we've got this really capitulation area, and if it was to come down there, that's a buy zone. Now, in between there, anything can happen, right? So what we'll do is we'll get our Fibonacci and we'll put it in there. Can't do that. Okay. So it doesn't give us much. So what we want to do now is use the body of the candle and see if it gives us more. Okay. Reverse this for a sec. What do we have? That's our 0. Do we have confluence with the body of the candle? This one sort of does with the 1.4. That doesn't quite work. Okay. I think that is the best. So it might come down to 11 cents if we lose this. So I'm trying to figure out if we lose that, what's the next level? 11 cents or 12 cents. And then if we were to do it, we do it like that. If we were to lose that level, this is just being creative with Fibonacci. And then we'll go mid-levels. Where are we? So now we have our bottom. We need reference points, and this basically that's all we got. So that's our bottom. And if I was to be creative, yeah, that looks like 12 cents. And then we've got all these little ones here. So 10.8, 9.9, 9.7 cents, 0.8, and then the bottom. So I'm hoping that's the capitulation level, that it's never going to get there again. It potentially can, depending on the market. It's a big drop if it was to get there. So if we look at that all the way there, that is another 62%. So it's hard to know, but if it comes down there, definitely have some money left over. So what I've done is I've assigned a portfolio of cash towards this, and my job is to accumulate as much money from that portfolio. So if it's, say it's 5,000, try to make as much coins with that 5,000 trading this. Don't put more money in it. So assign a percentage and make sure when you trade it, at the end of it, you double your accumulation, triple it, whatever you can get, because when the bull market starts, that's going to compound. And when it's clear, when the time comes, and it's pretty obvious what's going to take place, then maybe you chuck more money in it. So have a strategy that makes sense. Do not FOMO in. Do not think you're going to miss out, and do not think it's cheap. That's cheap based on this chart, but we don't know what cheap is. It could, it could come down lower. So you still don't want to spend more money. What you want to do is just make sure you accumulate more coins. So that's my strategy, and it makes sense to do that. If we were to look at this chart and look at the potential big picture, I would use the body of these candles. So long-term wise, if we were to break that, so we use that body of the candle, body of that candle, it sort of equates to the wicks. So this trend line, and if we were to use another trend line, say the body of those candles, I don't know, but this is not going to make sense in that sense, because that's 0. So it's just a trend line, and that's not going to work. So I'm just thinking out loud, workshopping this. The other option is that makes sense. So if we get a rejection and we come down again, perfect on the 618. Beautiful. Yeah, that's a good buy. That might be the next bottom. It might come down below. But if we were to apply the ABC, let's have a look at that. If this was our A, this is our B, that's our C, D, E is somewhere. We don't know where E is, but that fits into the breakout scenario, and hopefully it goes sideways and then breaks up, and maybe it'll come back down again, and we have a bull market. So what we want to do, just playing these roles, we have that line for future reference. So what we might have an episode where we break out, break to this level, and if that was the bottom, we can do a Fibonacci to the top, and that's the 0.5. Yep, that could be maybe that, or it could go to 0.6. But the thing is, when it hits that trend line, it's likely to come back. And Bitcoin will do the same, something similar, and then the bull market starts. Yeah, that's when we have the bull market. So we will have this phase where we think it's a good year and it's a reversal, and somewhere like pretty much like 2017 or 2018 to 2019, it hit the 13, 14K and it came back. I do describe this on Bitcoin. So if you want to know what that means, if I have my Bitcoin chart, actually, let's have a look at what Bitcoin is doing now. Okay, it's just holding steady, not missing out. Not missing out. So in terms of Bitcoin strategy, so what we have, if we can align it, we've had this this scenario. We had an all-time high, and what we're doing is looking for the bottom, and we're going to have this rally. But after that rally, we're going to pull back again. Okay, so we have a 1, 2, 3 move, and then we have our, and I think this is what's going to happen here. Then we have our ABC correction. We have our A, B, C. And if you could see here, if I was to change that Fibonacci, it's pretty much the 0.618 level. So for Bitcoin, when it went from there, so if you use that as a reference as 1 to 0, the 0.618 was the highest, and it maybe could be 0.5 in the alt. So with that mindset, we can have that same here as well. So we had our, so we had that frost there, bull market. Similar here, we had our frost there, bull market. We had a 1, 2, 3. Wherever that 3 is, it could be down there. I'm going the next live stream. I'll be doing Bitcoin, by the way. So if you're interested, I'll try and get rid of that. And then we have our up. So we have this phase, which is whatever it is. It could be down here. We have our up phase, and we probably hit 30K, whatever it is. And then we have an A, B, C correction, and then we go up. So I'm looking at this cycle repeating, and that's the next cycle. I have this level in July 23, sorry. So that's a guesstimate, just guessing. So we can have that as a potential level. And if you look at this cycle and then correlate it to this, actually this, we're going to have, like, this is not the ratio, so bear with me. If we can also have, because this is not what I call it, logarithmic. It's the scale is very different. So the point, if I was to put the scale on, the 0.618 could be this level here. This could come down, but as you can see, I don't have the logarithmic scale. So that will equate to the 0.5. Maybe we'll go further. If we were to find at the time when this all happens, where the accumulation takes place in this bucket around there, I'm sure we're going to have that. We might have just a lot of accumulation and then up, and then we'll pull back. So that's what I'm looking at the moment. And if you've got any questions, I'm watching, but at the moment, come back to this. And if you look on the 4 hour, if you missed out, you came in late, the 4 hour, there we go, we've got the pullback already. So like I said, resistance. So we want to see that break. To go bullish, we want to see that level break. And we've got our resistance already. That's why I haven't put much funds into this. I did put money there, but I want to see something more substantial to break this. We might have a little pullback and have a little double bottom and then go for it. Hopefully it does that. But I do see potential. That's the scenario I'm playing. Until we break this level, we have no confidence that's going to go up. So this could come back down deeper, and you could fill in that scenario as I spoke. So that's pretty much it in a short span. And I'm going to hear anything to add. And if there's no questions, we'll wrap it up, and then I'll start my Bitcoin and alt session next.